Hi everyone, I'm back again this week. Today is week 17 of being pregnant. So I had a very eventful week last week of my week 17. Last week I came and talked about what happened during week 16. Not much happened during week 16, but last week, I did a lot of reading, and they talk about, oh, you should go to the dentist and do your teeth and make sure to take special care of your teeth while you're pregnant because you can get an infection. So I did a lot of reading, and I saw that a lot of places. And oh boy, last week I had my teeth experience. So last week, my tooth, I had a toothache starting one night, and it was just hurting me. It wasn't swollen. It was a tooth that I had a crown on previously placed probably about 10 years ago. So it was hurting, it was hurting, it was hurting. And then I woke up, I went to sleep. I gargled with salt water because that's what I read. I didn't know if I could take any medicine because I was pregnant, so I didn't take any Advil or anything. Or a Tylenol or anything. I wasn't sure what to take. I didn't want to take anything, so I took no medicine. I went to sleep. I woke up the next morning. It started hurting, and it just got progressively worse. So my tooth was like, I was in extreme pain, and I went to the dentist, and it was so fast because usually when you get toothache, it's like little by little, and it eventually hurts. It just came out of nowhere, and it just kept hurting. So I went to the dentist. And by the time I got to the dentist, I made an appointment with the dentist, got to the dentist, waited in the dentist's office. I got there and I sat in the chair, and they were like, oh, you're pregnant? Oh, well, we don't know if we can see you. This doctor was like, yes. This doctor was like, no. Then they were like, oh, x-ray. They can't take an x-ray. And in my mind, at that time, my tooth, right under the tooth, started to swell up. Like you could see, it looked like I was getting a pimple right underneath my tooth. So I was like, you don't need an x-ray to determine that, oh, perhaps I have some type of tooth infection and maybe it needs to go. I don't think this is I said, I didn't think it was an x-ray situation, so I don't see why they couldn't just look at it and tell. They're like, no, they have to get an x-ray. They're not sure. So eventually they decide, okay, it's okay to take an x-ray if they use 2 of the radiation protectors. Now, the x-ray machine was like in the hallway of where everyone walks. So in my mind, I was like, well, if it's so dangerous, I walked by this, and it's okay to walk by the x-ray machine 101 times. The radiation doesn't dissipate into anywhere. But anyway, so I got the x-ray taken, and then they sent me to get the tooth pulled. So I go to get my tooth pulled, and the pain is like, it just gets worse and worse by the hour. Worse and worse by the hour. And when I get the tooth pulling doctor, he says, oh, after I wait the entire time, then they go, oh, I need an approval from the OBGYN doctor to get the tooth pulled. So now I have to make an appointment at my OB to get to approve me getting a tooth pulled. In the meantime, they gave me antibiotics, and the swelling went down. Then when I got home, I actually got a chance to look at the swelling, because I just felt like my face swelling, but I didn't know it was actually like an actual like little circle, and it looked like a little pimple. So I just popped it, and I don't know if that was the best thing to do or if that's what you're supposed to do. I popped it and I rinsed, and it hasn't bothered me since. After the whole ordeal, the whole week, and the back and forth. And I was saying to myself, everyone online keeps on saying, oh, it's important that you go to the dentist. And then when you get to the dentist, all the dentists are giving you all this headache about seeing you without your doctor's approval. Then what's the point of going to the dentist? I mean, like, in this case, your OBGYN can look in your mouth and go, oh, I think everything's okay. And then that's it. If that's all the dentist is able to do when you go there. However, they always say take care of your teeth. This is my second child, and for my son, I remember I first heard that someone told me that if you didn't have enough calcium, your teeth would fall out. And I used to drink tons and tons of milk, and because I was like terrified. But this time I drink almond milk, which has more calcium, and I take my vitamins, so I'm not too worried about teeth degradation under these circumstances. Again, the tooth I had was already a tooth, and the dentist is like, he thinks that it just ran its course because it was a cap, and the cap came off of it. The crown came off of the tooth. So he was like, well, we tried to fix it before, and now it's tired, I guess. The crown has worn its time. But that was this week in being pregnant. So I was but I'm very optimistic about my teeth pulling and seeing how that's going to go, and how I'm going to deal with not being able to take any medicine afterwards. But that I don't have to wait for another 2 weeks to find out, or for my tooth pulling to happen. But that was this week. Being pregnant and going to the dentist. If anyone had any questions or comments, you can leave them in a comment below, or just any questions about being pregnant at this stage. I'll sure to get back to you and answer you. When I was at the dentist, it was even strange that the girl who did the x-rays was the same amount of time pregnant as me, and I was like, this can't be that dangerous if every day you're here doing x-rays. But she had a lot of questions, and she was like, how does it feel? Did you get sick? Did you, not with x-rays, just being pregnant. How are you feeling? Because this is her first child, and she's so excited. She didn't start her job yet. And she's like, oh, I told her I was tired at the beginning. I'm feeling so much better and a lot more energetic now. I wanted to get in I'm looking at, I should take a picture. At 17 weeks, let's see if we can zoom out here. So I can show you my 17-week belly. It's getting a lot around there now. That's how it's going. Anyway, I'll see you guys next time or next week. Let's get all this stuff in. Bye. For my chandelier here.